The United States military has a history of deploying unconventional aircraft, often unrecognizable to the public, sparking UFO sightings and rumors. These secretive planes possess unique capabilities, including exceptional speed, assault efficiency, and hovering abilities, deepening the mystery surrounding military aviation. Over the years, as geopolitical tensions rise, the U.S. military has devoted resources to the development of these rare aircraft in order to maintain technological supremacy, particularly against China. U.S. scientists just announced an insane new UFO airplane to beat China. Join us as we explore this marvel. Project 1794, also known as the VZ-9 Avrocar, was declassified many years after its cancellation. The exact date of its declassification can be traced back to the late 1990s. It was an ambitious initiative undertaken by the United States Air Force during the late 1950s and early 1960s amidst the backdrop of the Cold War. This once highly classified project aimed to develop a revolutionary aircraft with a flying saucer-like appearance, vertical takeoff and landing, and high-speed flight capabilities. Project 1794 was initiated in response to the need for innovative aircraft designs that could outperform traditional planes in terms of speed, maneuverability, and versatility in various military scenarios. The project was contracted to Avro Canada, a British Hawker Siddeley Group subsidiary known for its aircraft design and manufacturing expertise. This collaboration brought together Avro Canada's technical capabilities and Hawker Siddeley's resources to support the ambitious goals of Project 1794. The centerpiece of Project 1794 was the Avrocar, a disc-shaped aircraft resembling a flying saucer. It featured a central cockpit for the pilot and a large circular platform for lift and thrust generation. The Avrocar's unconventional design aimed to achieve VTOL capabilities, high-speed horizontal flight, and explore potential military applications. The Avrocar faced numerous technical challenges during its development, including stability, control, and noise issues. The circular wing's unique aerodynamic properties posed difficulty in achieving stable and controlled flight. Additionally, the multiple engines used for propulsion generated significant noise, which was a technical concern and a practical limitation for military use. The Avrocar experienced problems with sonic resonance, potentially compromising its structural integrity. In December 1961, Project 1794 was officially canceled due to escalating costs, technical limitations, and doubts about feasibility. The decision was made to redirect resources to other aviation programs with greater promise for national defense. The cancellation of Project 1794 did not erase its impact on aviation and technology. The Avrocar's circular wing design contributed to ground effect research and VTOL technology. It also indirectly led to advancements in noise reduction techniques and played a role in developing stealth technology. The Avrocar's saucer-like appearance also captured the public's imagination and inadvertently contributed to UFO speculation when sightings were rising. The aircraft's resemblance to UFOs led to misidentifications and public interest, further enhancing its status as a cultural symbol of the era. Indeed, the declassification of Project 1794 was just one of many instances where the U.S. military has revealed previously secret or classified information about its aircraft and technology projects. Throughout history, the U.S. military has been involved in numerous secret or classified programs, some of which have captured the public's imagination and led to speculation and conspiracy theories. While Project 1794 is a notable example, other projects and aircraft remain classified or partially classified, adding to the intrigue and curiosity surrounding the military's history of extraordinary airplanes and technologies. Area 51, the highly classified military base in the Nevada desert, has long been a source of fascination and intrigue. This secretive facility has captured the world's imagination, giving rise to countless conspiracy theories and speculations. The pioneer of the movement was the enigmatic story of Bob Lazar, which brought the limelight to this facility. His story is one of government secrets, classified projects, and the quest for the truth about unidentified flying objects. Lazar's journey into science and technology began early in his life. His passion led him to prestigious institutions such as the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and the California Institute of Technology. However, it was in 1989 that he made startling revelations. He claimed to have been recruited to work at a covert facility known as S4, located near the infamous Area 51 in Nevada. His role, he asserted, involved reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology. This revelation sent shockwaves through the world of ufology, bringing Area 51 into the public eye. Lazar became a controversial figure, a physicist turned whistleblower who claimed to have encountered beings from other worlds and participated in the dismantling and decoding of alien spacecraft. Before delving deeper into the secrets of Area 51, it is crucial to provide some historical context. Area 51, a covert military installation, gained prominence during the Cold War era, marked by heightened tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union. Both nations fiercely guarded their scientific discoveries, viewing knowledge as a power source. This climate of extreme secrecy persisted from the 1940s until the end of the Cold War in 1991. The U-2 reconnaissance aircraft, developed in this facility during the Cold War, played an important role in intelligence gathering. Its powerful Pratt & Whitney J75 turbojet engine generated 17,000 pounds of thrust, enabling the U-2 to cruise at altitudes exceeding 70,000 feet. This remarkable altitude placed it beyond the reach of most enemy aircraft and surface-to-air missiles, operating in a stratosphere where radar detection and interception were nearly impossible. The U-2's endurance was another remarkable feature, capable of flying for over 10 hours without refueling. Its slender wings and efficient design allowed it to cover vast territories during a single mission, collecting invaluable intelligence through advanced onboard cameras and sensors. While the U-2 was not armed for combat, it had provisions for self-defense and evasion, including electronic countermeasure devices to jam or confuse enemy radar systems and surface-to-air missiles. Area 51 became the ideal location for testing the U-2 due to its remote, sparsely populated surroundings and a dry lake bed that served as a natural runway. This secretive facility within the Nevada test site provided the necessary secrecy and protection for testing cutting-edge aircraft. However, the U-2 was not the only iconic aircraft associated with Area 51. The SR-71 Blackbird, officially known as the Strategic Reconnaissance Aircraft, took flight in 1964 and symbolized intelligence gathering during the Cold War. Its unmatched speed and altitude capabilities, cruising at Mach 3.2 at 85,000 feet or higher, made it nearly invulnerable to interception or attack. Constructed using titanium alloys to withstand extreme heat generated at high speeds, the SR-71 was equipped with state-of-the-art cameras and sensors for long-range surveillance. Despite the U-2's effectiveness, it remained vulnerable to Soviet surface-to-air missiles. In response, Lockheed's Skunk Works, led by engineer Clarence Kelly Johnson, initiated a top-secret project to create an aircraft capable of outpacing adversaries. This led to the development of the A-12, part of the CIA's Oxcart program. Its unique design, including a bulging center fuselage and reflective titanium surface, contributed to sightings resembling unidentified flying objects when witnessed by those unaccustomed to high-altitude, high-speed flight. The A-12's incredible capabilities, including altitudes exceeding 85,000 feet and speeds exceeding Mach 3, often puzzled observers and contributed to UFO sightings during the Cold War. The aircraft's existence and missions remained shrouded in secrecy, and many sightings were not immediately linked to this top-secret reconnaissance aircraft. Despite public speculation and conspiracy theories, the government officially acknowledged Area 51 as a U.S. military facility in 2013, when the Central Intelligence Agency declassified documents that mentioned the base and its location. Before this declassification, Area 51 had been the subject of numerous conspiracy theories and speculations, with the government neither confirming nor denying its existence. While Area 51's secrecy has fueled speculations about time travel experiments, weather control weapons, and mind control technologies, concrete evidence supporting these claims remains elusive. Nevertheless, the base inspires curiosity, attracting UFO enthusiasts, conspiracy theorists, and the curious. One enduring speculation concerns Aurora, an alleged code name for a top-secret reconnaissance aircraft. Linked to sightings of unidentified flying objects and advanced aerospace technologies, Aurora has been the subject of much speculation and conspiracy theories. However, no concrete evidence has confirmed the existence of such an aircraft or its association with Area 51. Now let's add another mysterious aircraft to the list. It's called the TR-3A Black Manta, and some say it's a super-fast spy plane made by the U.S. Air Force in Northrop, the folks behind the famous B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. There are also mentions of other projects like Astra Aurora and SR-91, which might follow the legendary SR-71 Blackbird spy plane. The TR-3A probably came before the Aurora because it didn't have those noticeable wings. Instead, it looked like a sleek black triangle thanks to its super stealthy features. The TR-3A was covered in a special material that made it hard to spot on radar and could even change colors. It could look like a small object or a cylinder on radar screens. The coolest part? Some thought it had a power source that used high-pressure mercury and nuclear energy to make plasma, creating a sort of anti-gravity field that made it super light. It reduced its weight by 89%. Cool, right? Some experts have described this setup as a ring filled with swirling plasma called the magnetic field disruptor. It goes around where the crew sits and is way ahead of anything we can imagine with today's technology. They pressurize this special mercury-based plasma at 250,000 times the pressure we feel on the ground and freeze it super cold at 150 degrees Kelvin. Then, they make it spin fast at 50,000 revolutions per minute, creating a super-duper cold plasma that defies gravity. It has regular thrusters at the ends to move fast in all directions, even up to Mach 9. But here's the catch. The pilot had to deal with serious physical limits. Here is something hard to argue. This triangle-shaped thing was not just seen in the USA. People from other countries spotted it too. In Belgium, in the early 1990s, people took photos of a weird object with 4 bright lights, thinking it was a UFO. But chances are, it was the Black Manta. Some clues suggest these spy planes were used during the Gulf War to help guide Lockheed F-117 Nighthawk bombers to their targets using lasers. Others think this mysterious aircraft was more like a practice run for the B-2 Spirit, like a test model to figure out how to improve the future bomber. The TR-3A is said to have incorporated technologies that still sound like stuff from a science fiction movie today. Some of these include super-powerful long-range lasers for combat, the ability to control weather in a certain area, and rumors of alien tech at the core of its design, supposedly recovered by authorities after UFO crashes in different parts of the world. Talking about its stealth, almost every super-secret American military aviation project since the 1960s has been all about stealth. But before the famous Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit came along, another stealthy player deserves some recognition, the Lockheed F-117 Nighthawk. This plane was so top secret that only a handful of high-ranking Pentagon officials knew it existed. And because nobody had a clear picture of what this thing looked like, and some people reported seeing strange things in the sky, rumors started flying about the F-19 stealth fighter. People believed it was a 5th-generation aircraft, and Revell Monogram even had a model kit. When a real Nighthawk crashed in California, the media used pictures of that F-19 model to show what the crashed plane might look like. That just added more fuel to the legend of the F-19. The F-117 was eventually presented in the fall of 1988. The slightest suggestion that this was the same F-19 disappeared by itself. It is assumed that the misleading numbering of F-117, hinting at the fighter nature device, was deliberately chosen to hide from the USSR the true purpose of the future U.S. aircraft. After the F-117's combat debut was made public in 1988, it could have shown what it was capable of better. For instance, stealth aircraft logged more than 6,900 flight hours during Operation Desert Storm, flew over 1,300 sorties, and destroyed more than 1,600 targets. The only F-117 lost in combat fell over Serbia in the spring of 1999 during the NATO campaign in Kosovo. The aircraft detected enemy radar when it opened the bomb bay doors to drop the payload. The pilot ejected safely and was rescued, and the Nighthawk, along with its lantern, helmet, and ejection seat, can be seen today in the Belgrade War Museum. More interestingly, after the crash of the F-117, the People's Republic of China, PRC, turned to the Yugoslav government with a request to share its wreckage, gaining access to guidance systems and inconspicuous body and heat-resistant parts of the engine nozzle. According to the ex-chief of the military headquarters in Croatia, PRC agents actively scoured the area where the American plane crashed, buying parts of the aircraft from local farmers to find out the secret of stealth. Continuing the lineup of stealthy machines, we must talk about the Kandahar Beast, also known as the RQ-170 Sentinel UAV, or simply the Wraith. This drone was crafted by the scientists and engineers at Lockheed Martin Skunk Works, all on behalf of the U.S. Air Force and the CIA. Even though these drones are presently active in some prominently hostile areas, surveying and gathering information about those areas still needs more information about them. The RQ-170 Sentinel is one of those single-engine planes, and it is bigger than the RQ-3 Darkstar, which weighs in at 8,500 pounds. Strangely, the RQ-170 Sentinel distinguishes itself from conventional stealth aircraft through its unique design characteristics. It notably lacks the traditional features of stealthy aircraft, such as serrated landing gear doors, angular edges, and concealed wing exhaust systems. Some experts contend that this design choice was deliberate, stemming from concerns over the potential loss of these single-engine drones and the desire to safeguard advanced stealth technologies from disclosure. Additionally, the drone's light gray external coating has drawn attention, suggesting a possible operational ceiling of up to 50,000 feet. Notably, stealth aircraft intended for higher altitudes are typically coated in darker hues to enhance their stealth capabilities. The RQ-170 Sentinel's operational history timeline includes its presence at Kandahar International Airport in Afghanistan in 2005, earning it the moniker Kandahar Beast. In 2011, one of these drones was reportedly involved in surveillance activities during Operation Neptune Spear, the mission targeting Osama bin Laden. Notably, Iran claimed to have intercepted and hacked one of these drones in flight, a claim refuted by U.S. officials, who attributed the drone's landing to signal interference resulting from an internal takeoff and landing guidance system malfunction. In 2021, an American photographer documented the presence of one of these drones in the vicinity of Edwards Air Force Base. Subsequently, the drone was observed in Guam, suggesting potential enhancements, such as advanced sensors and radar systems, possibly related to operations in the South China Sea. The most recent reported sightings of the RQ-170 Sentinel occurred between September 2022 and February 2023, when the drones were reportedly engaged in reconnaissance activities near Russia during the Ukraine conflict. These observations suggest that these drones play a vital role in monitoring global developments. Concluding our voyage, we turn to a venture that carries a touch of science fiction, the Bird of Prey, a collaborative endeavor between McDonnell Douglas and Boeing originating in the 1990s. Phantom Works, an internal division of Boeing renowned for its involvement in highly classified U.S. military prototypes, spearheaded this remarkable project. The division's divisional vice president, Alan Weichman, boasts an impressive track record, contributing to pioneering efforts such as Lockheed's Have Blue, the F-117 Nighthawk stealth jets, and the enigmatic stealth ship, Sea Shadow. Thus, it was only fitting that the Bird of Prey project fell under this team's purview. The Bird of Prey stood out because it was very hard for radars to detect. They achieved this by carefully designing its body to hide any parts that could bounce radar signals back. They made sure that things like the cockpit, landing gear, wings, and body all fit together smoothly to keep it hidden from radar. They even hid the engine's air intake so you couldn't see it from the front. The engine itself was tucked deep inside the body, covered by a hood and an air duct, and they changed how the engine's exhaust worked to make it quieter. Instead of building physical models and testing them repeatedly, the team used computers to plan things. They used these computers to create prototypes very close to the final product, even before they started building it. Some people were worried that the Bird of Prey might not even be able to fly. But the head pilot, Rudy Haug, showed confidence by making a paper model of the bird of prey that could fly. It rolled over at first, but then flew steadily. In 1996, Haug successfully flew the real bird of prey at 300 miles per hour and up to 20,000 feet in the sky. These numbers were less impressive than those of other planes, but Boeing wasn't trying to make the best plane ever. They wanted to show they could make a stealthy plane without spending too much money. Surprisingly, the project cost around $67 million, even less than the F-35 Lightning II. This changed how people thought about making planes and greatly impacted the aircraft industry. The Bird of Prey project was only made public in 2002. Its influence can be seen in various new aircraft designs, like the Boeing X-45A from 2000. This newer aircraft adopted many features to make it less visible on radar, such as its sleek body shape and internal components. Today, you can find the Bird of Prey not hidden away in Area 51, but on display at the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force in Wright-Patterson, Ohio. The development of unconventional aircraft made with cutting-edge technologies and classified aircraft designs shows the U.S. determination to maintain military and technological supremacy.
The United States have been at the forefront of aviation for years and have not relented with the continued reinvestment in the country's aviation sector. Through the development of new generation jets, upgrade of old jets that have proven efficient, the U.S. has once again outdone itself and suppressed the world with the F-15. The F-15, a fighter jet that is renowned by many nations for its speed and agility, has been recognized as too weird by the Air Force. Which of its features has deemed it weird? What does the F-15 have to offer the world of aviation? Join us as we explore the reasons why the most modified F-15 fighter jet ever built was too weird for the Air Force. McDonnell Douglas's invention, the F-15 Eagle, is an American twin-engine fighter plane designed to dominate the skies in all kinds of weather conditions. In 1969, the United States Air Force chose McDonnell Douglas's design due to the need for a superior air fighter. The F-15 Eagle officially joined the United States Air Force fleet in 1976 after taking its first flight in July 1972. This fighter jet is one of the most impressive modern fighters and had over 100 victories in aerial combat without a single loss, predominantly attributed to the Israeli Air Force. Primarily serving as an air superiority fighter, the F-15 Eagle has become an important part of various air forces all over the world, including the United States, Japan, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. Despite its original focus on air superiority, the F-15's design includes a secondary ground attack capability, even though it was not extensively utilized. This adaptability led to the development of an enhanced all-weather strike version, known as the FF-15E Strike Eagle, which entered service in 1989, which also found its way into several nations worldwide. The development of the F-15 can be traced back to the early stages of the Vietnam War, a time marked by inter-service rivalry between the U.S. Air Force and U.S. Navy concerning the future of tactical aircraft. During this period, Defense Secretary Robert McNamara advocated for a shared aircraft approach, encouraging both services to utilize common aircraft designs, even if such a strategy necessitated performance compromises. This directive was evident in the joint USAF and Navy initiative known as the TFX program, which sought to develop a versatile aircraft capable of serving as a medium-range interdiction platform for the Air Force while concurrently functioning as a long-range interceptor for the Navy. The goal was to streamline the procurement and operational logistics by maximizing the commonality of aircraft across the two branches, despite the challenges associated with reconciling different requirements and priorities. In January 1965, McNamara asked the Air Force to think about creating a new, affordable tactical fighter that would be used for short-range missions and close air support, replacing older models like the F-100 Super Sabre and various light bombers. There were different opinions on which design to go for. The Navy liked the Douglas A-4, Skyhawk, and LTV A-7 Corsair II, which were mainly attack planes. On the other hand, the Air Force was more interested in the Northrop F-5 fighter. Even though it was not as good for attack missions, it could defend itself. If the Air Force went for a pure attack design, making sure it could control the air was crucial for a new aircraft. A month later, a report suggested that the Air Force should consider buying the F-5 or A-7 for their needs. However, it also proposed thinking about a new and more powerful aircraft to make sure it could maintain air superiority. This became even more important after losing 2 Republic F-105 Thunder Chief planes to older MiG-17s during an attack on the Thanh Hoa Bridge on April 4, 1965. The idea was to find the right balance between a plane that was good at attacking targets and one that could protect itself and control the air in combat situations. In April 1965, Harold Brown, who was in charge of defense research and engineering, suggested looking into the F-5 and starting studies on a new aircraft called F-X. These early studies aimed for 800 to 1,000 planes and focused more on being agile than super fast. They also said the plane should be able to attack targets on the ground to some extent. General Gabriel de Sosway took control of Tactical Air Command on August 1 and continued to support the idea of the F-X, but he wanted the plane to be a bit slower, going from Mach 3.0 to 2.5 to keep the costs down. By October 1965, there was an official plan for a fighter that would be great in air-to-air combat. This plan was sent to 13 companies on December 18, asking for their ideas. Around the same time, the Air Force picked the A-7 for support missions on November 5, 1965, which made the need for a specialized air-to-air design even more urgent, since the A-7 wasn't good at fighting other planes. 8 companies submitted ideas, and after narrowing down the options, 4 were chosen to develop their concepts further. In total, they worked on around 500 different designs. Most of these designs had wings that could change shape, variable sweep wings, weighed more than 60,000 pounds, could go as fast as Mach 2.7, and had a thrust-to-weight ratio of 0.75. By July 1966, when these proposals were examined, the planes were roughly the same size and weight as the TFX F-111. However, like the TFX F-111, these designs weren't suitable for being considered air superiority fighters. In simpler terms, they weren't the right kind of planes for controlling the air and winning in aerial combat. Around this period, the Navy determined that the F-111 wouldn't fulfill their needs. Consequently, they initiated the VFAX program to create a specialized fighter design. In May 1966, McNamara instructed both forces to examine the designs and assess whether the VFAX could align with the Air Force's FX requirements. These assessments went on for over 18 months and revealed significant inequalities in desired features. The Navy prioritized loiter time and mission flexibility, whereas the Air Force had shifted its focus primarily to maneuverability. This underscored a misalignment in priorities between the two branches, emphasizing their distinct needs and preferences for the ideal fighter aircraft. With air superiority in mind, the F-15 was eventually designed with an all-metal semi-monocoque fuselage and a shoulder-mounted wing with a modified cropped delta shape. The wing has a 45-degree leading-edge sweepback angle, and ailerons and a simple high-lift flap are positioned on the trailing edge. The absence of a leading-edge maneuvering flaps is compensated by low wing loading and a fixed leading-edge camber that changes span-wise along the wing. The tail is composed of metal and composite materials, including twin vertical stabilizers with a thin tailplane and rudders made of aluminum material honeycomb structure with boron composite skin. The F-15 has a spine-mounted air brake, retractable tricycle landing gear, and is powered by two Pratt & Whitney F100 turbofan engines. Its cockpit is situated high in the forward fuselage and provides the pilot with increased visibility and a 360-degree field of view. The ability for the F-15's maneuverability is as a result of the combination of low wing loading and a high thrust-to-weight ratio, allowing tight turns without losing speed. It can rapidly climb to 30,000 feet in about 60 seconds and possesses the ability to accelerate vertically under certain conditions. The airframe incorporates advanced superplastically formed titanium components from the 1980s. The F-15 has a special radar that can see and shoot at things down below, even when there's a lot of ground stuff in the way. It uses advanced computers and easy-to-use displays to make things simpler for the pilot, and it only needs one pilot, which makes it lighter. Unlike some other planes like the F-14 or F-4, the F-15 has just one clear canopy frame, giving the pilot a good view in front. The U.S. Air Force brought in the F-15 as the first special fighter just for the Air Force since the old North American F-86 Sabre. The F-15A and B variants are designed with single seat for air superiority purposes, while the B and D models include a second seat for training. The E models use the second seat for a weapons systems officer. Unique among modern fighters, the F-15 lacks distinctive turkey feather aerodynamic exhaust pedals due to design issues during development, resulting in a 3% aerodynamic drag increase. An occurrence that proved the F-15 resilience was when an Israeli F-15D lost most of its starboard wing in a mid-air collision. The pilot managed controlled flight and a safe landing, leading to research on damage adaptive technology and the development of the Intelligent Flight Control System. In addition to its capabilities, the F-15 can carry different air-to-air weapons. Its automated system allows the pilot to release weapons safely, using the head-up display and controls on the engine throttles or control stick. When switching between weapon systems, visual guidance for the selected weapon automatically appears on the head-up display. The F-15 can be equipped with various combinations of 4 distinct air-to-air weapons, and they are the AIM-7FM Sparrow missiles, or AIM-120 AMRAAM Advanced Medium-Range Air-to-Air Missiles positioned on its lower fuselage corners, AIM-9 LM Sidewinder, or AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles on 2 pylons beneath the wings, and an internal 20mm M61 Vulcan Gatling gun integrated into the right wing root. Specially designed low-drag conformal fuel tanks of CFT were created for the F-15C and D models. These tanks can be attached beneath each wing, flanking the engine air intakes, adhering to the same load factors and airspeed limits as the basic aircraft. While they slightly reduce performance by increasing aerodynamic drag and can't be jettisoned mid-flight, they have lower drag than conventional external tanks. Each conformal tank has a capacity of 750 US gallons of fuel. Despite the minor performance impact, they enhance range, decrease reliance on in-flight refueling, and allow the use of all external munition stations. Additionally, Sparrow or AMRAAM missiles can be mounted on the corners of the CFTs. Initially utilized regularly by the USAF 57th Fighter Interceptor Squadron, based in NAS Keflavik, Iceland for extended operations over the North Atlantic, the F-15E variant is now the primary user of CFTs following the closure of the 57 FIS. Israel and Saudi Arabia have also acquired CFTs. The United States Air Force is the main user of the F-15. It received its first F-15B fighter jet on November 13, 1974. The initial aircraft, equipped with the Hughes Aircraft APG-63 radar, now Raytheon, was delivered to the Combat Squadron 555th Tactical Fighter Squadron in January 1976. The first F-15's attack occurred in 1979 when Israeli Air Force Ace Moshe Melnik scored a victory. During IAF raids, F-15A reportedly took down 13 Syrian MiG-21s and 2 MiG-25s. In the 1982 Lebanon War, Israeli F-15s played a very important role, credited with destroying 41 Syrian aircraft. In Operation Mole Cricket 19, Israeli F-15s and F-16s jointly shot down 82 Syrian fighters without any losses. Israel stood out as the sole operator developing the air-to-ground capabilities of air superiority F-15 variants. This decision was influenced by the fighter's superior range compared to other Israeli combat aircraft in the 1980s. Notably, during Operation Wooden Leg in 1985, F-15s carried out a strike mission against PLO headquarters in Tunis, marking a rare use of air superiority F-15s in tactical strikes. Over time, Israeli air superiority F-15 variants have undergone extensive upgrades to carry a broader range of air-to-ground armaments, including JDAM GPS-guided bombs and Palpai missiles. On the 5th of June 1984, Royal Saudi Air Force F-15C pilots reportedly shot down 2 Iranian Air Force F-4E Phantom Dasenus. This skirmish highlighted the F-15's effectiveness in air combat. In 1990, the United States Air Force sent F-15C-D and E model planes to the Persian Gulf for Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm. During the Gulf War, these F-15s were very successful, achieving 36 out of 39 air-to-air victories against Iraqi forces. The F-15C and D were used for air superiority, while the F-15E Strike Eagles were mainly for night air-to-ground attacks. The F-15s played a crucial role, with F-15Cs alone having 34 confirmed defeats of Iraqi aircraft during the 1991 Gulf War. They targeted various Iraqi planes, including MiG-29, MiG-25s, MiG-23s, and others. The F-15E also scored its first air-to-air kill by destroying an Iraqi Mi-24 helicopter. During the conflict, air superiority was quickly achieved, and many later victories were against Iraqi planes fleeing to Iran rather than engaging in direct combat. Some F-15Cs were lost to ground fire, and one was damaged by a Scud strike. In another incident, a Royal Saudi Air Force pilot was defeated with an F-15C during Operation Desert Shield, and Saudi F-15s later shot down 2 Iraqi Mirage F-1s. However, one Saudi F-15C was lost in a crash during the Persian Gulf War. The F-15s continued to be deployed in various operations, supporting missions in Iraq, Turkey, Bosnia, and other locations. In 1994, there was a tragic friendly fire incident in Iraq where USAF F-15Cs accidentally destroyed 2 U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopters. Later, during NATO's intervention in Kosovo in 1999, USAF F-15Cs shot down 4 Yugoslav MiG-29 using radar-guided missiles. In November 2007, the United States Air Force grounded all F-15s after a Missouri Air National Guard F-15 experienced a mid-air breakup and crashed. The investigation revealed a critical issue in the upper longerons of the F-15C, causing the front part of the aircraft, including the cockpit and radome, to separate from the rest of the plane. To address the problem, F-15A through D models were temporarily grounded for detailed inspections and necessary repairs. This grounding garnered attention as it strained the country's air defense capabilities. Some states had to depend on neighboring states' fighters for air defense, and Alaska relied on Canadian Forces support. On January 8, 2008, the USAF Air Combat Command allowed a portion of its older F-15 fleet to resume flying, recommending a limited return to flight for affected models worldwide. The Accident Review Board report, released on January 10, 2008, found that the longeron in the F-15C did not meet specifications, leading to fatigue cracks and the eventual catastrophic failure of support structures, causing the aircraft to break up in flight. The report identified 9 other F-15s with similar longeron issues, raising concerns about the long-term viability of the F-15. By February 15, 2008, The Air Combat Command cleared all grounded F-15A/B/C/D fighters for flight pending inspections, engineering reviews, and necessary repairs. The ACC also recommended the release of other U.S. F-15A/B/C/Ds. This incident raised questions about the future of the F-15 and prompted extensive safety measures and evaluations to ensure the continued airworthiness of the fleet. Comparing the F-15 with the F-14 or Tomcat, it was noticed that they had similar design with its 2 engines, 2 seats, twin tails, and can fly at high speeds. The F-14 was created because an earlier project called the F-111D didn't work out. This fighter is big, well-equipped, and was the first among a series of American fighters designed based on lessons learned from air combat experiences against MiG fighters in the Vietnam War. The F-14 Tomcat was made to be good at both air-to-air combat and long-range interception for naval operations. It could work as an escort attack plane with Sparrow missiles or a defense interceptor with Phoenix missiles. The plane has a 2-seat cockpit with a clear bubble canopy for great visibility during air-to-air combat. It has wings that can change shape during flight, swept back for high-speed intercept and forward for slower speeds. The design aimed to be better than the F-4 Phantom in air combat performance. The F-14 structure allows it to climb faster than the F-4, and its twin-tail design improves stability. It has a built-in 20mm M61 Vulcan cannon and can carry various anti-aircraft missiles. The twin engines are in separate nacelles, and the space between them holds fuel, controls, and weapons. The fuselage on its own provides a significant part of the F-14's lift, which helped one F-14 land safely after losing more than half of its right wing in a mid-air collision in 1991. Despite its similarity to the famous F-15, there were limitations with the avionics system. On the other hand, the F-15 features a versatile avionics system designed for multiple missions. This system comprises a head-up display, advanced radar, AN/ASN 109 inertial guidance system, flight instruments, ultra-high frequency communications, tactical air navigation system, and instrument landing system receivers. Additionally, it incorporates an internally mounted tactical electronic warfare system, identification friend or foe system, electronic countermeasures suite, and a central digital computer. The heads-up display plays a crucial role by projecting essential flight information gathered from the integrated avionics system. This display remains visible in various light conditions and serves as a means for the pilot to access vital information without diverting attention to cockpit instruments. Essentially, it enables the pilot to track and engage enemy aircraft efficiently, contributing to the aircraft's overall mission capabilities. The F-15 boasts adaptable APG-63 and 70 pulse Doppler radar systems capable of tracking both high and low-flying targets with remarkable precision. These sophisticated radars are adept at discerning aircraft and swift, small targets across extensive distances ranging from beyond visual reach to close proximity, even down to treetop elevations. With a primary range extending to 100 miles, the APG-63 contributes vital target data to the central computer, optimizing the accuracy of weapon deployment. In close-quarters aerial engagements, the radar seamlessly identifies adversary aircraft, projecting this critical information onto the pilot's head-up display. Complementing these radar capabilities, the F-15 integrates an electronic warfare system that furnishes comprehensive threat awareness through a radar warning receiver, while simultaneously executing automatic countermeasures against specific threats. The synergy of these advanced radar and electronic warfare systems underscores the F-15's prowess in surveillance, target acquisition, and responsiveness in dynamic combat scenarios. These unbeatable capabilities of the F-15 series and its advanced designs have made it stand out in the world of aviation. Thanks for watching. While you're still here, click on the link appearing on your screen to watch another of our interesting videos. See you there.